Hello everybody, and welcome back to another new video. And in this one, as promised, this is gonna be my overall review of the Green Day Nimrod 25th anniversary box set that just came out about a month ago. And you can see the box there in the background. As you can see, it's one of my most anticipated releases of the year. I have posted in the past a couple of videos about the actual box set. The first one covers all about the packaging, and I do a quick unboxing in that video, and I show you everything that is included in the box. And the second video that I have also posted is my track-by-track review of the demo album that is included as part of the box set itself. So in case you haven't checked those two videos out, I'll put a link here in the description in case you're interested. This one is going to be my overall review of the entire box set. As I mentioned, this box came out about a month ago, a little bit more than that. So I had plenty of time to actually to listen to the actual records and to check out all the packaging and everything. So in this one, I'm going to give you my overall thoughts and review of the box set. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. First of all, the packaging is great. The box looks great, as you saw in my unboxing video. The poster is really nice. I actually installed it here in my music room, and I think it looks really good. Also, the booklet is really cool as well. It has some additional artwork, some additional pictures and lyrics. The only thing that I wish they could have included in the booklet is an additional write-up of maybe a story or a write-up from a band member or somebody associated with the band, just saying how they recorded the record. Maybe an interview with Rob Cavallo, the producer of the record. He's usually pretty available. I've seen lots of interviews with him. So I think that could have been a really great addition in the booklet. All right, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the records or the albums that were included in the box set. So the box includes 3 records. The first one is this one, just the standard studio version of Nimrod that came out again in 1997 on Reprise Records. And this one came out on double LP with music on 3 sides. And the 4th side is actually an etching of the Nimrod logo. So no music on side D. And as you can tell, Nimrod is one of my favorite albums of all time. It's one of my favorites from Green Day as well. As far as I can tell, there is no difference between the sound of this pressing and the repress that came out 5 years ago for the 20th anniversary of Nimrod. And also no difference with the original one that I have on CD. So I don't think it has been remixed or remastered at all. Which in my opinion, I think it's a good thing, because at least to me, Nimrod always had the perfect amount of production. It didn't need any additional remastering. Especially for a record that came out back in 1997, where there were a lot of bands or albums that came out with a lot of problems with compression and just too much production. Nimrod, I don't think it ever suffered from that problem. It always sounded perfect to me. So the fact that they kept it with the original remaster or the original master of the actual album, to me, was a good call. The only thing that they could have added on this record, on the studio album or the studio version of Nimrod, was that the side D has an etching. Yes, the etching is nice, but I would have preferred to have some additional music in that side. Maybe include the final studio versions of some of the songs that didn't make it to the album. For example, the Japanese version of Nimrod that came out, the original one that came out in 1997. Included a bonus track, which is the studio version of Desensitized. They included it as the bonus track of the album. Why not include that song instead of the etching here in side D of the album? I think that would have been a better choice than just having an etching in it. And maybe include some extra studio versions of songs that also didn't make it to the album, like Espionage, that made it to the Austin Powers soundtrack, a great track, and make it like an extended version of Nimrod. I think that would have been a better choice than just having an etching on side D. Alright, the next record that came in the box is the demos. The demo songs from Nimrod. This came in on just a single LP with the track list here in the back. And I'm not going to say too much about this album or about this record because I made an entire video about it. Again, I'll put a link here in the description so you can check out my thoughts about the demos from the Nimrod era. But it's pretty cool. This is what the fans wanted to hear, the stuff that was unreleased, unfinished songs. It gives you kind of a little bit of an insight of what the process was on writing the songs from Nimrod. And like I mentioned in that video, the highlight of this record is the last track in the album, Black Eyeliner, a very replacements-like type of track. If you listen to any of the songs from this box set, definitely check out Black Eyeliner. And also, one of the things that I wish they could have improved about this record or about the demo album is the name. Just choose a more creative name than just demos. But anyways, really cool record that was included in the box set. All right, then the last record or the last album in the box set is the Live at the Electric Factory, Green Day Live in Philadelphia 1997. A very anticipated live release from that era. And it came out on a double LP with music on the four sides in this case. Really cool record. I wish they had included it as a gatefold like they did in the studio record. But it's fine. It has some cool pictures here, and the actual booklet has some additional pictures of the actual show. So the live record is really, really good. This is as close as it can get as Green Day being in the peak of their powers. Very close to it. Very fast-paced, very rocking show. The sound is really good as well. It really puts you in the show. It sounds really, really good. One thing that I wanted to mention about this record is, or about the live record from Green Day, there's not that many live albums from Green Day before American Idiot. There were a few EPs that were released only in Japan for a while, but Green Day didn't get into live albums until after American Idiot came out back in 2004. So it's good that we have some releases, some live recordings from that era, from before American Idiot, because I think Green Day was a little bit of a different type of band before American Idiot came out in 2004. In fact, Green Day was a very different live band in 1997 compared to 2004, 2005. We are all used to seeing that kind of Green Day. If you go see them live, you see Billy Joe Armstrong that takes charge of an audience. He's the lead guy in the band, and he knows his job as a lead guy in a big rock and roll band. And he does that job very well. If you go see Green Day live right now, you will agree with me. Everybody knows that Billy Joe is a really good lead man in the band. That wasn't always the case. Back in 1997, when Green Day was still kind of like a newish band, because they started back in the late 80s, but Green Day wasn't really used to playing in big arenas. So what you see in this record is, yes, they put out a really good show. They have great stage banter. They mess with the audience. They make fun of them. But Billy Joe is still, you can see that he's still not very, very comfortable being that big rock star that he was becoming. I don't know, it's just a little bit different compared to what you see of Green Day right now. So it's a great, great piece of history to see how Billy Joe and the band has progressed from being an early or a punk rock band into more like an arena rock band that they are right now. And this is something that Billy Joe actually talks a lot about in his audiobook that came out last year. I did a video about this audiobook last year when it came out, and I'll put a link here in the description in case you want to check it out. But he talks about that, where when he got started, he was very uncomfortable being a rock star because he came from the punk scene in San Francisco and the Bay Area, Gilman Street punk scene, where being called a rock star was the worst thing that anybody could call you. You could not be a rock star. So he came in from that scene, so he was still very uncomfortable being that lead guy in a band. And that's something that he had to learn with time, playing a lot of shows, just getting more comfortable on stage. And in fact, he actually got so comfortable being a lead guy in a band that he actually helped a lot of newer bands become more comfortable with that. For example, Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance, he got a lot of coaching from Billy Joe Armstrong on being that kind of lead guy in a band. So in case you haven't checked out his audiobook, again, it came out last year, I think. I'll put a link in the description so you can check out that video. But I thought that was very eye-opening, at least to see that Green Day. That Green Day that was still an early punk band. That, yeah, they had a lot of really cool stuff that they would do in the show. Like they would always bring in a fan to the stage to play some of the songs or to sing one of the tracks. Those are always really fun. That's something that Green Day has always done, even back in the 90s. But there's still a big difference between what they were live in 1997 compared to what they are live now, or since American Idiot came out back in 2004. And regarding the issue that I mentioned before in one of my past videos, that Brain Stew and Jaded are split into two different sides or two different discs in the live album. Again, to all Green Day fans know that Brain Stew and Jaded, they always go back to back. Yes, it is kind of weird to hear them, or to hear a kind of like a gap or a pause in between those two tracks. But honestly, it's not that really big of a deal, because they end up side B of the album with Brain Stew. The end of Brain Stew is kind of like a fade out, so it gives it like a nice closure of that side of the record. And yeah, it's a little bit weird to hear the start of the second disc with Jaded, but it's not really that bad. It's not as bad as I thought it would be, at least. But anyways, I'm just still glad that they included both of the tracks, or the entire concert, in the live record. So this is the entire track list of the album. Again, Green Day with Live at the Electric Factory. Excellent, excellent live album. So yeah, that's it. That's my overall review of the box set. So in short, it is a really good box set. Is it perfect? Probably not. Like I mentioned before, they could have added a few things, maybe like an extended version of the studio album, maybe include like an interview or a write-up about the record, the recording of the record in the booklet. Maybe change the name of the demo album, maybe include a little bit more pictures here and there. But I'm still happy with it. I still think it's worth it. It is a little bit overpriced. Maybe if you wait a little bit, you may find it on sale later on. But I think it's definitely worth having the whole box set, either on CD or on vinyl. Definitely worth having. It's a great piece of history from Green Day, and it is also the first box set from an album that has come out for any of the Green Day records out there. I assume a lot more are going to come maybe in the next few years. The one for Dookie or for Insomniac are going to come out for the 30th anniversary. I would assume, I'm sure they will eventually. But this one is a nice one for what it is. It's a great album. It is definitely very well produced. It sounds great. The extra material that included up with the demo songs is really good. So I'm happy with it. I've been listening to it quite a bit since it came out, so I'm very happy with the purchase. Let me know in the comments in case you have bought this one, what you think about it, what could have been better, what could have helped, what you wish they had included. Let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye-bye.